All right, you called Jalen Hurts the 25th best quarterback in the league at the beginning of the
Okay,
season.
before the year started, that's where I had him. That is correct.
That
Go
has
ahead.
aged wonderfully.
Okay.
All right, despite the loss in the Super Bowl, he's proved you and all the other haters wrong. He had the most rushing touchdowns and yards by a quarterback ever, and also threw for 300 plus.
And the rushing touchdowns thing, forget by a quarterback. He tied the Super Bowl record for any player.
Yeah.
He tied Terrell Davis's record of 3 rushing touchdowns in a game.
Yeah.
In the Super Bowl. Go ahead.
Although that fumble and Hail Mary weren't great.
Well, the Hail Mary, he said his foot slipped, which made sense. That turf was a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, that turf was an embarrassment.
I wonder what they do next year.
Well, the Super Bowl won't be there.
Well, I mean, as far as like the design in the middle.
I don't think it was. I think the paint had something to do with it. But that turf, remember week 1 of the season, the Chiefs were in that stadium. And McDuffie, their rookie corner, got hurt. And their kicker got hurt because they slipped on that bad turf. But go ahead.
Yeah. Hurts is now in line for an extension at the end of the next season.
No, he's in line for an extension right now. I mean, his contract's not up until next season, but they're going to pay him now.
Oh, okay.
So they could not pay. Maybe it'll be Lamar's situation where like they offer him and he doesn't want it, but he's eligible for an extension now. His contract goes another season. But go ahead.
So do you think they'd be correct giving him the money? Would you tie him to your franchise?
Oh, listen, Jalen Hurts, you were spectacular.
Yeah.
Spectacular. I was dead wrong on him. He was great.
Yeah.
He was great. And when you add that level of play to what is undeniably a made in a lab leader, his quotes, his mindset, he said before the game, I had a plan before anyone had an opinion, which is just such a great line. And what he has dealt with as far as getting benched at Alabama, transferring, then damn near winning
everything
a
was
Heisman.
lined up for him to choke in the Super Bowl.
100%.
Given the last biggest stage he played on.
And given the fact that it was very, very clear that he was going to have to go toe-to-toe with Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you this much, man.
If it weren't for that fumble, man, I don't.
Well, I was going to say if McKinnon doesn't, the sneaky greatest play of the Super Bowl was McKinnon going down at the 1.
Yeah.
Going against all instinct to score what could be the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. Going down at the 1 before you go out of bounds, any of that.
It was like a minute and 40 at that point.
Yeah, and which allowed, if he scores there, I'm terrified that Jalen Hurts is going to drive the field for a touchdown. And I think they might have gone for 2 to Monze.
And they're going to use him again.
Yeah, I mean, that 2-point play was unstoppable.
Yeah.
And so he was great.
Yeah.
His defense let him down. And that was, are we going to get into that later in the show?
I don't know.
No, I'm going to do it right here. This is the problem with believing the raw numbers rather than believing the context. That defense statistically was one of the best we've ever seen. If you add the context of what opposing quarterbacks they were playing, and at the end of the year now, this team played 6 top 10 quarterbacks from this year. Goff, Dak, the Prince, Rodgers, Mahomes. 5.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I said 6, but it was 5. Those 5 averaged 34 points per game. So,
right in line.
While the defense was excellent as far as getting to the quarterback all year, that's another thing. Sacks are sometimes a quarterback stat. The best quarterbacks find a way to make sure, you know what I mean, to get rid of the ball, to do things. And the defense
did what they do against good quarterback.
Exactly, which is get exposed on the back end.
Right.
And that was a no-show performance. In league history, the number 1 pass defense prior to yesterday's game had played in 3 Super Bowls. The Broncos had the number 1 pass defense against Cam Newton and the Panthers. The Panthers that year led the league in scoring. They went 15-1. Cam won MVP. The Broncos held them to 10 points and won. The Seahawks made the Super Bowl against the number 1 scoring offense, the Denver Broncos, actually, oddly enough, with Peyton Manning. That Seahawks defense held them to 8 points and won 43-8. The Tampa Bay Bucks made the Super Bowl 20 years ago with the number 1 defense. They played the Raiders. They beat the Raiders 48-21, scored 2 pick sixes in that game, and dominated. Number 1 pass defenses in the Super Bowl prior to yesterday were 3-0 and had won the games 115-39. So in all of NFL history, you play the number 1 pass defense, 3 Super Bowls, you average 13 points a game, 39 total points. The Chiefs scored 38 yesterday. So that is partially a Chiefs stat. That is partially wasn't actually the number 1 pass defense.
Right.
It was, but it wasn't. But Jalen did everything.
Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.